W7ATS checking in. Early. Here is K9PQ. Good evening, Bob. Hey, Wade. How you doing? Are you gonna make it on Zoom tonight? Yeah, I'm gonna probably try to get on there in a second. Just getting there now. So, see you shortly. K9PQ.
Washington Amateur Television Society non-void machine. I'm Dave, WW7ATS, the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, a group of amateur radio enthusiasts take to the airwaves for SNAP-scan television. We have a repeater located up on Cougar Mountain. It's a crossband repeater, 70 centimeters, and the sound image is 1.2 gigahertz. And to find out more about the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, you can Google WW7ATS, that's Google WW7ATS, that will take you to our homepage. There you'll see the frequencies we transmit and receive on, and also there's a link to YouTube. Also utilize YouTube. Also, I'd like to thank the Seattle Repeater Association for letting us use WW7STR for our voice transmission. So with that, I'll take a break in case anybody contact with somebody before our net gets fully underway. Again, this is Dave, 87 CYM. Being known, again, this is the Western Washington Amateur Television. Dave, 87 CYM. Well, checked in by video link already is Ron, 87 QTU. Jessica, 207UHK. Bob, K9PQ. Richard, K7ITX. Richard, K7ITX. And Wade, W7ITL. And myself, Dave, 87ZYM. Is there anybody else would like to check in? Well, with that, let's get the net underway. Let's start off with Ron, 87 QKU.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Dave. KD7ZYM in the group, KD7QKU here in Tacoma. Well, I passed that little information along to my wife, just to unplug the printer, and then the fax machine wouldn't answer, so she was said she thought she could handle that. Good. And Jessica, you must be on a different computer now because you look normal again. So, yeah, you're back to normal. You were pretty red to begin with. Let's see what's going on. Well, same old thing. I taken my wrap off quite a bit. My hand is healing just fine, but I think I'll leave it on possibly till Friday or Saturday. It'll be a week then, and then I think it won't pull it apart. It's just a little bitty incision. What did I do? Let me let it drop. So we have a TV out on the patio, and I had used just a little piece of, coax, and I'd stripped off the outside, the shielding and everything, and just left the wire hang out about a foot, and it would pick up most of the local stations. But I'm going to get ML, Major League Baseball, again this year, so I'd like to be able to watch baseball games out there, so I decided I needed to hook it up to the dish. Well, there was cable came in real close by for the kitchen, so I just undone that, put a splitter in it, ran it over to the TV set, and then I forgot which channel I had to have it on. It's actually the TV set that you gave us, Jessica. And then I remembered it was 62, so I put it over on 62, and voila, it worked just fine. So I just have to use the remote from this room so I can change the box in here, and I can see it out there. So it's just, but it worked out fine. All I got to do is just carry the remote out with me. So I'm happy. So back to that, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go to Jessica, 877UHK.
KS7UHK, it's 47 degrees and raining up here in Everett. And Ron, same computer, different settings for my little bit of a whiter face as opposed to the red. I had some settings turned way up. Usually I'd take the saturation and really crank it up so that the color really comes through, but then it makes me look funny. So that's what I was doing there. Let's see, I went to a DOT, Department of Transportation Physical and Screening yesterday, and that was exciting notch, which is not very fun when you're 63 years old, because I'm planning on taking a retirement job if I pass all the other hoops I'll know on Friday, if I made it through the screening okay. But this is a job where you move around engineers, conductors, and brakemen from trains when they run out of time on their shift and they can't drive anymore on the train and they got to be transferred somewhere, like to a motel or to their home or to their car. And so I've signed up for this job, and they said they'll take me if I pass the screening, and then we'll find out. We'll find out Friday for sure. But that was exciting. You got to go give them bodily fluids to make sure you're not doing things you're not supposed to be doing before you go drive on the highway with passengers. And I already did the driving test already a couple days ago, and that was exciting and fun. Nice to stand next to these great big locomotives that are all rumbling, getting ready to go somewhere in this train yard down up here in Everett, called the Delta Yard, and it was really fun. So we'll see. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Jessica. KF7, you guys hear?
Yes, sir. Jessica, thank you for the information. It sounds like an interesting job. Let's go to Bob, K9PQ.
Well, good evening, everybody. Let's see. That is an interesting job, definitely. And you reminded me that we're not only we have the exact same birthday. I don't know if you remember that. And we share the birthday with Kevin Bacon. So we're only 1 degree of separation from Kevin Bacon. So I'll leave that as my opener and send it back to the net. K9PQ.
K9PQ, thanks for that. Let's go to Richard, K7ITX in Tips.
Okay, well, let's see here. I tried to do the new nifty switching that Bob taught me. It worked the first time, so I guess it didn't work the second time here. So, okay. Try that. Okay, I think that'll work. There's Bob, and then should snap back over to Richard. Okay, there we go. It's kind of sluggish, but, I'm sluggish, so we're even. Okay. So, anyway, let's see, thanks for the report, Ron, and the Western Washington women's basketball team, they just beat North Georgia University in the NCAA Division II semifinal for the national championship. That's little old Bellingham women college now in the final. So that's going to be pretty exciting. I'm not sure when that is. And then we got Gonzaga tomorrow night. And I guess you would call it. I guess they're in the Sweet 16, yeah. There's 16 to go, so they're in the Sweet 16, and hopefully from that they move on to the Elite 8. So, anyway, I've worked 3 straight days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pretty much full time, except maybe minus 2 hours for today. So I've already done what normally is a full week's worth of work, or wait, sometimes I've done maybe double or triple what I do in a week, but it's just a pretty complicated job they've asked me to help out on. And then top that off with the YL Debbie and her new job where I work at.
weird part about it, though, is, because of my experience and my relationship with the owner of the company, typically I'm kind of more or less second in command quite a bit of the time. But with the YLW, pretty much, she wears the pants in the family over here. It doesn't work very well at work to pull rank, even though it just doesn't work. If you want to get the riot act, just check it out some night after work when we're discussing things. That's a topic I'm just not going to. I've decided that silence is gold, and I'm not even going to discuss those sorts of things. And it's only week 2. What can I say? It's just nutty. So anyway, that's it for now. KD70M, K7ITX, back to Net Control.
KD7ITX, thanks for that, and it's ID time again. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Again, I'm Dave, KD7CYM. Let's go to Wade in Tacoma, W7ATS.
I think I'm going to make this round short. I'll get a couple updates. So you might have noticed I've been out last couple nets. I've been trying to get in a new habit with working out and being fit. So I've been dedicating about an hour to about 2 hours every night at the gym. And last night I did about half an hour of running and then about an hour and a half of swimming, which is about 3/4 of a mile from my pace. So, yeah, that's my goal every night, or at least every other night. For right now, I'm just trying to get in the habit, so I'm trying to do it every night to try to develop a good habit. So, every night I've gone to the pool right after whatever I'm doing after work. So, and that's what I've been up to. So, and then tonight, let me just break for a second. I did a couple of things, took care of some things. I finally canceled Comcast. Now I only have one internet provider. I was using them as a backup for my son and my wife, so they could have stable internet. We were having some issues with our CenturyLink for a while. Anytime I used the ham radio, and I got this sorted out now, so I got rid of Comcast finally. And then I went to the car dealership and canceled my gap warranty because we paid off our SUV with the equity line that we took out. And we made, I think I might have mentioned that we made a big down payment on our construction project. So hopefully we can get the other part of the down payment plus the remaining balance all figured out before we get started. So that's what I'm working on now, is getting all the funding set up for the project. So I'm excited about that and getting this house all worked on and fixed up. So, and then lastly, I'll end my conversation or my thing here for just hold on one more second. So yeah, I don't know if I'd also told you that my parents are moving to Florida, so that's going to be a different shift. We don't live next to them right now, but they decided to move there and they sold their house, and they're going to rent the current house from the person they sold it to starting at the end of the month, and then hopefully we'll get the other house figured out in Florida. I think they're trying to find a house or build a house, so that's the end for this round. We'll see if I stick around for a few more rounds. I might just listen for the next round and maybe just kind of say my 73 at the next round so I can go do my routine of working out. I will let you guys go, and I'll talk to you in the next round, hopefully. W7ITL, back to net.
W7ITL, thanks for joining the net. And this is Dave, KD7CYM at Lake City. I got 37 degrees, and according to my rain gauge, in the last 6 hours, it rained 1/4 inch here in Lake City. Pretty standard all through the area with a lot of rainfall in the last 6 hours coming down. And let's see, I finally got around to changing my light on my front porch, sodium vapor light, and trying to find a bulb during this crisis. It took me 3 months to finally locate all 3 of the So, the orange glow is now on the front brightly again. So, there's a past, those bulbs seem to last almost 3 years, 3.5 years. Automatic turn on with a light sensor. So they really put out a lot of light for 70 watts, and I'm very impressed with that. Got it out of the way. And the net also acknowledges N7KC. Lee has checked in, and he'll come after Jessica. So let's go back up to the top to Ron, 87 QKU.
Okay. Jim N7QO, he's not with us tonight.
N7QO text that he would not be with us this evening.
Okay. All right, this is KD7QKU again over in Belgium. I just looked at my rain gauge. I only had 0.08 of an inch of rain today. We didn't have much rain, but more sunshine almost than rain. So that was kind of interesting. I wrote on my notes here to ask Wade about his construction or destruction or the removal of his turret, but I guess he's already addressed that, so that's not a question. And Richard kind of has a problem. It's at home, I think, is where the problem arises after work. So you just have to, I guess, like you say, just change the subject, talk about something else. And Lee, it's nice to see you. So what else is going on? I told you I hooked up the dish to the TV set out on the patio today. And I just, I'm not doing one for a walk. Went for a little walk this morning, just before it rained. So it was pretty nice here when we got up and went for a walk, probably 10:30, 11, and about the time we got back, I think it's when we got that 0.08 of an inch of rain. So I guess I'm just turning it back to net. So back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go to Jessica, KF7UHK.
How do you guys sound so fit? I need to go take a walk or do some swimming or do something. So, and that's what the doctor at the DOT physical said I need to do is go and lower my BMI. Because otherwise, if I had done much more, they were going to have to send me to a sleep study to make sure I don't go fall asleep at the wheel doing a DOT job. So I need to work on that. 6 degrees of separation. This is for Bob. I tried to watch that movie once and I just couldn't get through it. I like the premise of it. I like the whole idea of 6 degrees of separation. As Bob said, we're like 0 degrees of separation. We were both born on the same day, the same year. So we're exactly the same age. So I always find that just amazing. Us and Kevin Bacon, who was part of 6 degrees of separation, I believe. Let's see. I am colorblind, and I knew that. And I failed the colorblind test with flying colors at this DOT test, but the doctor still gave it to me. He said, I think you're close enough. I think you can see the colors, just it's hard to see down the hallway. They were hard to see. But speaking of lights, talk about your light replace. This is like your normal. This is a LED, like a little 40-watt light bulb, and something I got recently. I got these great big. This is a 70-watt. Compact fluorescence that goes to 5,500 Kelvin is what the light it puts off. It's very white. It's good for photographic stuff. And they're kind of. I stuck one on my back porch. I don't use it very often because I think it pulls a bunch of power, but it sure does light up the backyard when I turn it on. So that's kind of cool. Other than that, I need to get fit. That's what my notes say here. So I'm gonna pass it back to this KF7 UHK.
KF7 UHK. Let's go to Port Angeles to Mr. Lee, N7KC.
Connected, N7KC.
Well, it gave me the opportunity to transmit. Okay, well, Lee, N7KC in Port Angeles. Well, I don't really have very much. It's been a pretty busy day for me. On Dragon. as I'm doing most of the time, dragging, just waiting for it. Anyway, having a good time, though. I mean, I'm not depressed or anything like that, but it's just that, I don't know, the invariant time of physics and my physiological, organic, philosophical perception of time are wildly divergent. They really are. It's just, I can't believe it's Wednesday night already. Incredible. Anyway, what I was going to do here, I don't know. Oh, I can't do sharing because it's not enabled, so. Richard is telling me something. Did you say mercury, or did you say sodium vapor lamp there? Oh, boy, light pollution for the astronomers. Oh my gosh, you're on their list, Okay, let's see if I can, there we go. There's my weather system right there. And, let's see, where is the rain? Right here. And so if I come over here and I back this down, you can see where we got our rain today. Right here's the 23rd right here. Let me bump it up. So this is how our rain came in today, and we ended up getting 0.06. It started at about 1 o'clock, and this says that it was moderately intense, and then here it was light, and here it was light. Sometimes it's very light. So that's what we got today. It's a big disappointment, because we were supposed to have a lot more rain than this. It was awful. Anyway, I'll stop my sharing here, and I think I'm about out of time, so Dave, I'll send it back to you, and then next time around. Yep, here we go. Bye. It's okay, too. Whatever.
Lee, thank you for that. I see it again. This is the Western Motion Amateur Television. So let's go on.
Obviously had a lot of static on it. But I have a little cable connection problem. There we go. The cable connection to the camcorder that I'm using, there's a problem somewhere at the point with the jack. I got to switch cameras. Fortunately, I do have another. It's noisy as well. Ron is giving me the hands over ears. So Ron, I'll just ask you, what happened to your hand there? Why is it bandaged? And I guess I'll leave it at that. Send it back. K9PQ.
K9PQ. Let's get another bandage. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I had carpal tunnel surgery on Friday, Bob. So they did carpal tunnel surgery. I could probably take that off. I make sure I have it on to go to bed. So I just don't want it. It's right at the bottom of the palm here where the indentation, and I just don't want to pull it open. So anyway, I'm fine really. And the noise is off when my hearing aids. They're just amplifiers, and the speaker's right behind me, and it's noise is off. 87 QKU.
87 QKU. Thanks for that. Well, let's go down to Richard, K7ITX in Kent.
Believe it or not, guardrails for stairs and stair landings, those are pretty complicated, a lot more than you might realize, especially when it's up on the 9th and 10th floor. My work, putting in the guardrail and the handrail and any of the related glass, things of that nature, to keep people from falling and to their death
Mine is complicated enough, but the guy couldn't get her the stairs. Oh my God! And then he has to get it all squared away and fabricated so that they can hoist it by a certain deadline. It's how, it's like a balancing act where the timing is everything, and so there's a mad rush to build the steel staircase and get into position to fly up, as we said, or hoist it up in through an opening somewhere in the building. And so that's why I've been scrambling. And then, of course, there's always the proverbial snafu that reared its ugly head right before an appointment that I had, so I had to call that off and concentrate on the snafu. But I made sure I had a good lunch before I started working on the problem, and lo and behold, right about 4 o'clock, 4:15, the problem solved. And and maybe you guys have ran into this before, that the original path was well thought out that you thought you had put into it. Typically, when it goes sideways, what happens then? Maybe plan B, or the solution, is actually better than the original idea to begin with. And so that's what we've just discovered, that in a way we're kind of happy that we're going to have a so-called snafu, because now the solution is better than the original plan. So I'll just say victory for, what snafu stand for anyway? Situation, normal, yeah, you guys are going to have to help me with that one. K7ITX, back to net control. K7ITX. Well, I see Wade is still with us. Let's go to W7ITL.
Alright, looks like I switched in okay. The repeater is up on the screen. We'll wait for a second for it to pause. Oh, there we go. I'm back on there. Hey, so yeah, this is my last round, and I'll make a few comments. It sounds like, Ron, you got some surgery last Friday, and you're doing okay. That's great. Hopefully you heal up just good. Little hand surgery there. Well, what else? I'm still waiting on my radio. I don't know if I think I told you guys like a week or two ago that one of my radios got burned up with bad antenna wire. So I took it out to ICOM last Monday, and I've been trying to check in with the repair department, but I don't think they're very well staffed, because every time I call, I get put on hold for about 30 to 40 minutes, and then nobody answers. So I'm just going to cross my fingers that I get to my radio soon so that I can put it back in service. So right now, I'm just using the ICOM IC705. It's my little low-powered rig, but it seems to be doing just fine for my purposes. So maybe I'm not worried too much getting that radio back. But with that said, I think this is my last round, and I will talk to you guys Saturday. So 73.
W7ITL, we got your 73. Thanks for joining the net. Appreciated your appearance and being able to be on the net. Again, this is Dave, KD7CYM, and this is the Washington Amateur Society. For me today was I watched a couple of movies, kind of back, no real work. I'd say the last 3 days I just sort of loafed. Not like Richard, who worked, and laid back, did a few chores around the house, and just enjoyed that was nice, and blended in with the weather. So that's about it from Lake City. This is Dave, 87 CYM. So let's go to Ron, 87 QTU.
I think, didn't we skip somebody? okay. It seemed like it came around awful fast. Well, let's see. I now have the lawn mowing. I have Jose mowing my lawn now, so he'll be over here, like not this week, but next week, every other week. He comes by now and mows it and edges it this time. And I had Armando came over and fixed the sprinkler system again. So when they ground out the stump in the front yard from the big old maple tree, they busted one of the pipes. And we didn't know it until we tried to turn it on. And then when I had them put in the little, what do they call them, arborvitae, the, 15 or 20 trees down the east fence, somebody must have hit it with the pick too and busted that line. So there was three places that had to be fixed. So Armando came over Saturday and got that all fixed. Maybe I chose this Saturday, I don't know. But anyway, so my sprinkler system's all well and good. So it's a Rainbird, I don't know, nice control unit in the garage. And outside it has a little unit with an antenna on it, and so if it rains, it detects the rain. The rain rains on it, and then it delays the sprinklers from coming on at that time. But unfortunately, it's not working. The system's a little bit on the old side, so we replaced the battery in it, but it still doesn't seem to want to work. So no big deal. It doesn't rain much in the summertime anyway. If it sprinkled and rained at the same time, it wouldn't matter. Probably be good for the lawn. So anyway, that's my big news over here. So back to that, KD7QKU. Come on, I'm in here.
Well, let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK, after all the IDs have been done with the repeater.
Yeah, exactly what they said. Yeah, right. I'm not fast. Morse code. I could do a few letters. I could do a bunch of letters, but not all of them, and not fast like that. Looking forward to Survivor 42 tonight. It's about the third episode into this season, and it's fun because it's a whole new set of people and a whole new set of problems and a whole new set of conniving people in it to watch. So Survivor 42, Channel 7. And we were talking about different things like snafu and foobar. And my favorite is still WYSIWYG, which I used to see on printer setups. You're going to put a printer in it, it'd give you that choice, which was what you see is what you get. So I think there's a song called that too. So other than that, it's 33 minutes after the hour. It looks like we have some kind of a moon out there. If you can see it, it's 45 degrees. This is KS7UHK.
KS7UHK, let's go to Lee, N7KC, with no mooning.
Okay, very good. I'm off and running with my timer set. Lee N7KC in Port Angeles. Well, the one I liked was Plain. Technology with an interesting name. I always got a kick out of that. Plane drivers and stuff like that. But listen, I don't know if you guys know it or not, but a lot of weather balloons fly every day. And it turns out that over here at Quileute, let me call up our location here. Okay, here is a program called Sound Head Tracker. And it is really, really cool. It's free, runs like $1 million. And this particular balloon landed down here in downtown Victoria today. It's up here. It was up here for a while. Looks like it decided to get down around the church and someplace here. But anyway, here's the date on it. It launched about 3:30. It has a boost timer on it. This thing got up to Well, it got up to 32,453 meters. That's 100,000 feet. Okay, and the track was from Quincy Airport over here, and it flew up here almost to Port Angeles, then reversed itself, went down the street, and then went back over. It would come down the whole time. And this first timer here, when the balloon burst, it initiates the timer that the transmitter will run for 8 hours. So they're thinking they can try to track it and recover it. The tracking station is this other line here. It goes down to Fort North. And I hear these things every day. They go in the morning or they go in the evening. And so it's just a lot of fun to watch this stuff fly. But so this thing took off from Quincy here at ground level, got up to 100,000 feet, started wind first, then came down, got caught in air currents that took it west along the strait. Then it got other air that took it this way, which is where it finally ended up down here. Anyway, well, that's a projected landing, and I imagine it's pretty close to I'm just out of time, so there you go. But anyway, I recommend this program. It's a lot of fun. Then transmit here, it shows you 404.6 megahertz, and it's an FM, and you can hear the data stream and so forth, but look at the temperature, get up to minus 21 feet. I've seen it up to minus 50, minus 60 or 70 degrees up at 100,000 feet. Really cool. Okay, that's all I got. In 17.
In 17, thanks for that, Lee. Well, let's go on down to Bob tonight.
Dave, I'm just going to say 73. I think I was really bad tonight, so 73, everybody. I will listen out and talk to you later.
Okay, Bob, thanks for doing that.
Yeah, we are getting extra static. So now I'm kind of wondering if I've got static. Normally I don't think I do. Ron sounds has a really good signal, and Jessica's clear as a bell. And of course, Echolink, it's been working really good lately, and so Echolink's coming through, but tonight, and then Wade, of course, is always good. Everyone's clear but Dave and me. Yeah, well, yeah, Bob, I wish you were readable, though. I mean, so it's too bad. You didn't need to bow. We could deal with it. But anyway, to each his own. That's what I always say. So, other than talking about work and my problems, personal problems at home and that sort of thing, I guess I just have my California trip to look forward to, and that'll be interesting to try to make hopefully I'll be able to get the Zoom started for our annual business meeting when I'm down there. So hopefully we will be on standby in case, for whatever reason, I don't have a connection at Sonoma Speedway. Yeah, it's going to be that Sonoma situation, and with the Datsun 69 Datsun 510, brand new motor, brand new clutch. So we're really excited, and I just checked the weather. It's 71 degrees is forecast for our first day there on Friday, which is, April Fool's Day. April Fool's for me, typically, I don't know, there's karma in my life. So I've done enough April Fool's jokes that I'm certain I'm going to get bit this year. And if I have the nerve and have the connection, I think I might try to do a Zoom broadcast during one of our races and see if I can
film that for the tournament for maybe family and friends and maybe some of you guys as well. With that, KD7ZYM, K7ITX, back to net control. KD7ITX is net gets narrowed down. This is Dave again in Lake City, and this is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the 08 machine. Oh my, it's a nice net ahead this evening. Well, we're down to Ron, Jessica, Lee, Bob, who is now checked out, Richard, and myself. So we're down to 5 at this point. So with that, we'll go back up to Ron, 87 QKU.
Okay, KD7QKU here. Well, the race in Sonoma sounds like a lot of fun, Richard. That should be a good deal. And Lee, that was a little interesting feeling. I guess that's the weather balloon that goes up. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, the only ones that I hear that's real noisy is Dave and Bob, but everybody else is just fine. So I don't know what's going on. Wade was good too. So anyway, my son, maybe I told this, maybe I didn't. He bought a big boat. Well, it's big to me, and it has a V6 in it. It's a 20-year-old boat, maybe a little more than 20 years old. Well, he put it, down. He moored it down at Long Branch there at the marina, and he had water in the oil in the water in the bilge, and he didn't want to get it pumped out into the bay, so he pulled the boat out, brought it home, and he thought it was the oil filter, maybe, or the hose or something that was leaking. He replaced some of that, but he finally determined that it was the bottom of the pan. The pan had rusted out on the motor, and it was seeping oil, so he's decided to pull the motor out. And I don't know if he's going to just he decided the motor's 20 years old, and if he's got it out and puts a new pan on it, he'll be pulling it again, to put bearings and grind the valves and everything. You get a long block, you get heads. So they would have the heads done. You get a short block, you have to use your head. So he was looking into a long block. Today he pulled the outdrive off. And of course the bolts are hard to remove because they're in there with electrolysis and in aluminum and stuff, 20 years old. So he had put lots of penetrating oil and everything. He did get them out. He was afraid he wouldn't, but he did. Then there was a shaft he had to drive out. That the outdrive tips on the shaft, and the shaft had to come on. He said that was a terrible job, get the shaft out. So I told him I think he'll have to get a new one, and probably I suggested freezing the shaft before he puts it in. Put it in the freezer and get it real cold, lube it real good, and see if you can get it to go in. So that's it. Back to net, KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go to Jessica, KS7UHK.
That water in the oil reminds me of a problem we had with our macerator. We could never really use because our sailboat was in Puget Sound and really can't dump your waste into the Puget Sound. You have to be somewhere off the coast somewhere. But the one screw in this pump had deteriorated, and so this macerator was leaking all the bad stuff, the black water you don't really want to smell, underneath our main bed in the very back of the boat. So we eventually pulled that whole thing out, changed it, cleaned it, put it back together again, made it work, and then sold the boat. But we didn't want to have someone else do it because it would have cost us probably thousands of dollars for someone to come in there and get in this spot that was really hard to get into. We were on our bellies to go work on this thing, and we did a lot of flushing with lots of Clorox and things like that to make it not smell bad. But yeah, it was a big job, and it was probably a normal motor, had been there forever, but just had a screw that decided it was going to rust out and then deteriorate right there. So that was not fun. Let's see, really neat stuff you're showing us there, Lee. I'm going to go to that Sound Hub tracker. I'm going to go look that up and check that out. That just sounds like fun. and seeing the radio frequency. I'll have to figure out when they launch those things so I can tune in and see if I can hear them over here. This is whatever I have. My friend Sam and Dave, that's Pirate Dave, over in Prineville, Oregon. They're in Eastern Oregon. They said it was 70 degrees today, and that just sounds so nice. I can't wait till it gets warm here. But we're supposed to have a low of 38 tonight here in Seattle, so we'll see how that actually works out. Other than that, it's 45 minutes after the hour, 45 degrees, KF7, UHK.
Port Angeles, the we in 7KC.
Okay, very good. Well, I'm off and running. 17KC in Port Angeles. I can't do anything with FMS until the button goes from gray to, so it has to wait until there's total quiet on the echo link circuit, and then you can do it. Takes a little while. Eats up my valuable time, on the air. Well, anyway, the balloons are fun. I can hear them all. I can hear them out over the Pacific. When they're up 100,000 feet, I'm telling you, a low-power UHF signal goes a long way. And I'm not using a beam, I'm just using my dual band X700 Diamond, which is an outrageously good antenna. And so I'm hearing them fine. And then I've got an SDR receiver that will turn it in, and it's got a couple of spectrum analyzers on it, and it's really cool. But generally, I just listen to it on my dual band, base station thing. Okay, I've got one other thing to show here. I have got a bunch of sensor push sensors here. This is really interesting on the freezer here. What it is, it's a bunch of temperature, relative humidity, and dew point sensors that you can plop around, and they communicate to a Wi-Fi hub with Bluetooth LE, the low energy Bluetooth. Okay, so take for example, I have one in the freezer here, and let's see, where do I? My controls here. Oh, here we go. Here by the day. Okay. What I wanted to show you was this is our freezer profile. So here it is warming up, and it gets up to about 9 degrees. Then the compressor starts and it cools down, and it goes down to about 1 degree below zero. Then it warms up, compressor comes on, and this is probably where Paula opened the freezer door right here. See that little glitch? And then so it's warming up, and then the compressor comes on and takes it down. So you can see what the interval is with the, hang on, I'm going to reset. I think I reset it. Anyway, so this is one of the sensors, and let me go back to the palette here. So we've got one in our guest bedroom, so we can monitor temperature and relative humidity in there. We don't want any mildew here. Master bedroom, and we can take a look at the temperature and all that. In the living room, I've got one. In our new shed where we keep all of our food and everything, I've got one. The old shed over here, I got one with the barometer on it, so the mean sea level pressure right now is 30.1 inches. This is right on the nose. It really works well. Our outside temperature right now is 44.2 degrees. Supposed to get down 36 tonight. I don't know if it will or not. And so forth. And then in our sunroom, we've got one here, and I've got an alarm on that at 85 degrees. That's the shaded portion here. And on the freezer, wherever that thing is, up here, I've got a high temperature alarm on that. So anytime it gets into this shaded area here, what it does, it gives me a notification on the phone that something's wrong. So anyway, that's what we got going here. And let me stop the share. Okay, very good. In 732, Port Angeles, stay back to you.
KC, and it's, believe it or not, time for another ID. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society net on the OA machine on series 87GYM. Well, let's go to Richard, K7ITX.
That's awesome. I'm just thoroughly amazed by your monitoring. You know, as I look at my now defunct Accurite Future Forecaster, that's I think barely 3 years old, and now the outside outdoor sensor is just froze up. It just doesn't work anymore. I changed out the batteries. I don't know, maybe it got too wet or something, but everything's stuck on 60 degrees. And I know it isn't, it's been stuck on 60 degrees outside for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So, tell me, maybe I know a lot of people like to have their bedrooms cool at night when they go to bed, but 63 degrees, I don't know. I'm sure I would wake up with a stuffed up nose and a sore throat if that were my bedroom. So, but anyway, great videos tonight with the balloons, and it's just better than cartoons. KD7ZIM, K7ITX, back in that control.
K7ITX, which is 87ZYM. To add to this, that we still got quite a few minutes to fill, so let's go to Ron, 87QKU.
Why? Okay, KD7QKU. Yeah. Well, we used to sleep all the time with our window open in the bedroom, but since we moved over here, we haven't done that. Our windows at Bellevue slid, back and forth horizontally, and here they raise up and down. So I'm going to have to make a trip to Home Depot, I guess, and get a stick and put in the window, because so someone can't raise it up and figure out how to keep the stick there. So if someone pulls the window down, the stick wouldn't fall out. So I don't know, maybe screw it in, glue it in, I don't know, tape it in, I don't know. But I haven't got around to one more of those honey-do jobs I haven't done. So we haven't had our bedroom window open since we've been here. And our heat, we have electric heat. There's a heater in every room, a wall heater. I don't think they're the most efficient in the world. The first bill we got wasn't bad. It was probably less expensive than the pellets we bought. And we're anxious to get the other bill. We should be getting it soon. It'll kind of be the other half of the winter, and see what that is. We've been a little more generous with the heat this half of the winter than we were the first half. We were a little cautious because we didn't want a $1,000 electric bill. But it was only about $350 for everything, so that wasn't bad. So we'll see what happens. That was for, I think at least 2 months, maybe more. So we'll see what happens. It's strange over here. Let me let her drop. In Kane County, Joanne would always just use the internet or something and get our license tabs, and they would send them to us. But Pierce County doesn't do that. You have to go pick them up. So we had to find a place over here by us, and she had to order them and have them delivered there or something. I don't know. I haven't quite figured it out, but or at least that's what she said she had to do. We had to drive over and pick them up. So strange. But anyway, all right, back to that KD7QKU.
KD7QKU, let's go to Jessica, KL7UHJ.
We need license tabs on our truck and our car, so we have to do that before the end of the month, at least the first car. And the next one's due next month, so might as well do it all at once. We were talking about an earlier Zoom meeting with a bunch of ham folks today without the radio, and we were talking about stuff that we have, and I said, I told Sylvia, what are you going to do with all my stuff if I die first? And, you know, are you going to have it go to good home? She said, no, I'm just going to get rid of it. So just you plan on that. But on the sensor push devices, I say bait the freezer with Girl Scout cookies and see the fun begin. KF7 UHK.
KF7 UHK, thanks for that. Well, let's go to Lee, M7AC.
Okay. After the long pause. Well, very good. M7KC MPA. Well, you can tell, of course, I like gadgets. But that comes up just up to here, too. So, to be perfectly honest, I would hate to see it go, but I would hate to try to follow with the problem of moving my stuff. You know? Terrible problem. Because I'm not a hoarder, because everything I have, I've made money with, or it's useful or something. And you might take for that I made a lot of money because I have a lot of stuff. But that wouldn't be true either. But anyway, so in a way, it would be better if she went before me, because it would be, all she's got is some nice sewing machines and some stuff like that, you know. Very easy, you know, to handle. But boy, in my case, I got a garage full of machine tools and all the, oh my. And a storage shed full of exotic, you know, titanium rods and stainless and Monel and stuff like that. Oh, it's just awful. Anyway, well, as you can tell, I'm having a lot of fun. What we really did, the reason I got this sensor push system was you have to have at least one gateway for it. And of course they operate on our Android phones or a tablet or on an Apple operating system. And you have to have that on there to set them up. And then they have a beta app which you can have on your big computer. The barometric pressure doesn't show the 2 digits like it should. It isn't quite right yet. But anyway, any place we go, we get it. Well, our sunroom, you know, can cruise up. We don't want it to go above 85, and boy, it can do that in a heartbeat. And we don't have automated cooling or anything like that. You know, we just kind of manipulate the doors and screens and whatnot, and a barrel fan that we have, and we can maintain it pretty nicely. But the trouble is, sometimes we try to guess at what the weather's going to do, and then we go downtown or something, and then the sun comes out, and maybe we don't know what the sunroom's doing. So all I have to do is just look at the phone, and I've got instant information on what's going on there. And if necessary, I can just zoom it home and take care of it. Because, you know, we're a bunch of stuff in there if we don't... Hey, let me reset. I think I did. Anyway, and then once I got it in the sunroom and it worked so well, I thought, hey, you know, the freezer. We're always nervous about the freezer, right? And it would be nice to do that. Well, it turns out that if you put the sensor near the ceiling lip on the door, now ours is one of those test freezers, you know, if you put it close to that and you've got a gateway someplace within 3 or 4 feet of it, then it will pick up that signal and get it right into the system. So I had to have 2 gateways. I've got one on the west end of the house, I got one on the east end in the garage, and it turns out 2 gateways service all of those sensors just fine. You can have any number of sensors, and you can have any number of gateways. It's whatever your pocketbook will support. And they're nice. You can calibrate each one of them if you choose. As they come, they're specified to be very close. But you can make them a lot better if you got a very fancy thermometer and you want them to match it. You can do a 1-point calibration on them. You can't do 2 or 3 points. But anyway, you can do that. And so I've been. Oh, I forgot to start my timer. I better quit. Anyway, enough of that. It's M7KC. Back to you, Dave.
M7KC, thanks for that. And it's time, unfortunately, for the net to come to an end. This is the Western Washington Amateur Television Society. I'm Dave, 87ZYM. We'd like to thank the owners and operators of the WW7STR repeater 147.08, which is the Seattle Repeater Association. Anyway, for allowing us to utilize it for our voice transmissions during our video nets held on Wednesdays and Saturdays between 8 and 9 o'clock. So on behalf of the Western Washington Amateur Television Society, this is Dave, 87ZYM, closing the net. Good evening all at 9 o'clock.